And then actually in 2016, I had to make a decision whether I wanted to go to the Paralympics or to Reno to the air races to race at Reno, and I chose Reno. So airplanes won out over that kind of stuff. My name is Just Meaders. I'm from Mineral Wells, Texas, flying a Just Aicraft Superstol. I think I was about 5 years old the first time I got to go flying with my dad, so I was hooked that day. From then on, any airplane, anywhere I wanted to be in and fly in.
Were you born and raised in Texas?
I was, yeah. Born and raised in Mineral Wells, Texas.
Nice.
Yeah.
And the love of aviation started at 5. How did it grow?
Basically, every time my dad's plane started, I wanted to be in it and that kind of thing. And, you know, he let me, probably around 5 or 6, he let me take the controls, and that was just, I was completely hooked.
Dang. What model plane was it?
It was a 172.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we go into your accident with
Sure.
motocross?
Yeah.
So
road racing, actually.
Road racing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it was autocross or?
Oh no, like on a road course where you're dragging your knee on the ground and motorcycle road. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay.
high speed.
MotoGP.
Well, not to that level, but
right.
yeah, the same similar sport. Yeah.
So it seems like you were kind of an adrenaline junkie at some, or just your.
Adrenaline connoisseur, maybe. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know. I you know, there's certain places you want to get adrenaline, and certain places you don't. So yeah. Similar to flying, I got my first motorcycle on my 5th birthday, and learned to ride it that day, and was hooked with motorcycles the same way as flying, and always had a motorcycle from then on, and rode and raced and loved it too. At 22, I got hurt in a road racing accident on the race course during a race, and paralyzed, and lots of rehab and surgery and stuff like that after, and didn't know what to do. You know, I kind of had to figure out how to live again, and then what to do with my life again. So went back to school to learn some new stuff, and then also got into endurance sports. So I was doing hand cycling and wheelchair racing and swimming and stuff, and then ended up being on the U.S. triathlon team and traveled around and did some cool stuff with the U.S. triathlon team. And then actually in 2016, I had to make a decision whether I wanted to go to the Paralympics or to Reno to the air races to race at Reno, and I chose Reno. So airplanes won out over that kind of stuff.
You did the STOL drag?
No, I did Formula One air racing. Yeah. Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. Did that from 2016 till this last year in Reno, which now Reno's finished. So
right.
Yeah.
So, I think someone's trying to pick it up though, right?
It is. Yeah, there's some new maybe possible venues for new stuff.
I heard potentially Vegas.
Vegas is an outside chance. I think it looks at the 3 finalists now are Roswell, Pueblo, and Casper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you still have your Formula One plane?
I do. Yeah. I just raced it, in September in Reno, and then waiting to see what happens on the next races. Formula One is fun after the fact. The airplane is like, not that all airplanes don't require your concentration, but the Formula One is a completely unforgiving airplane. Like, there's no stability built into it. Like, it will, if you're not flying the airplane properly, it'll do something, and it's probably not what you want. After you get out of the airplane and the adrenaline starts coming down, then you're like, that was fun. But this airplane's fun just flying around and doing these competitions and stuff. It seems like it's a lower stress level for this kind of stuff, which is always nice. Yeah. High stress stuff all the time it's okay, but this is just a completely different fun.
The love of aviation is unwavering.
Absolutely.
That's
yeah.
Awesome.
It's in your. I think once it's in your blood, it's always in your blood. My dad doesn't fly anymore, but he still loves airplanes. He still watches, airplane stuff. And every time there's an airplane flying over, he's looking up, and you know how it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know how it is.
Yeah.
So how was it in 2023 for you? I think you might have been still building the plane.
Yeah, so 2023, we were finishing the plane and testing it, and then got it all finished and went to Sulphur Springs for the final event. And got there, unloaded it, and was running, getting ready to go out for practice. And my buddy that comes with me that crews for me was just like, cut it off. And I was like, oh, okay. So I shut it down, and the mounts for the intercooler and the radiator had broken. So they were just holding on by the hoses. It was just a couple of welds on there that just were not quite up to standard, and they just cracked. So not good. So we It was not too far from home, so we just loaded it up and went home.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, STOL is a series, of course, you know, so, which is really cool. You get to do it a lot more times throughout the year. And then, like the Reno Air Race is one race a year. Our Formula One stuff previously has been a travel series, but it's usually in other countries. So we usually put like 2 to 3 airplanes in a shipping container, and off they go. And then you're just hoping that it makes it there without any damage. And yeah. We'll ship the airplanes to another country and then show up and race, and then it gets shipped back home or maybe to another race or however you end up doing it. COVID kind of killed all that, and it's hopefully going to come back, but it hasn't yet.
2024 season kicking off to the right start.
Yeah. So far, so good with this one. This was my first official actually getting to fly in the competition. Had some issues yesterday. It was just some tuning issues that we worked out. Our tuner, Glenn, is amazing. And he sent me a new tune like at 5 this morning or something. He worked on it last night, sent it to me. I uploaded it and it ran perfect today. So.
And you were mentioning the same guy as Steve Turner.
Yes. Yeah.
So same
exactly. Yeah. So he works with this engine in the sleds. The same engine that we're running, you know, as a snowmobile engine. So he does all that stuff for them in a sled, and it translates over to this really pretty evenly translates over. And so he already knows boost numbers and fuel trims and all that kind of thing, and to get it working like it should. And then we tweak it from, you know, like he'll start with a standard tune and then we'll tweak it from there. But, you know, and like maybe Steve runs a different fuel than I do or whatever, so. Right. So any little bit can change it.
I forget when you get on your level and you can change ethanol or whatever it is, like all the octanes.
Oh yeah. Same airframe as a Highlander, but the wing on a Superstol is a little bit larger. So a Highlander has wood ribs and the Superstol has metal ribs. And then the Superstol has automatic slats, leading edge slats, and it has a Fowler flap instead of a traditional flap. So it has a little bit more flap area and stuff like that too. We have a Highlander kit that we brought from Steve. And then some life things happened and we hadn't got around to building it. So I went and found this airplane as a flying airplane, and the plan was just to fly it. And then we got it home and I was like, started tearing it apart. I didn't fly it one time before we tear it apart. And just tore it apart, did everything firewall forward, and then basically from tip to tail and wingtip to wingtip, we changed almost everything.
Damn, that's what you got to do when you get to this level.
Yeah, and also just to make things like I wanted them. You know, I'm kind of particular about things, so I just wanted it most things were probably fine, but we changed a few things to make it like I wanted them to be and things like that.
What's your goals for 2024 competing in the National STOL Series?
I think, I would obviously like to win a competition, but more than anything, I just want to improve on every performance. I don't know that I could get to Dan's, his like a 2-foot landing or something crazy. I don't know. But I don't know if I can get that short of a landing with this aircraft, but I'm going to do everything I'm going to try to improve myself to try to make it the best I can do with the best performance I can do with the airplane.
Awesome. Anything, any shout outs to the sponsors?
We have had a lot of help this season from Hypersports and Glenn at Hypersports, from Lad Gardner Aviation, Buddy Air Racing. Who else have we had? Well, my friends and family too. They've been huge help. That they'll anything I need, they're there for it. They love this stuff too. So.
Who modified the hand controls and all that stuff? Is that special?
That was something I designed, and I have some buddies. I have a group of friends I call the Brain Trust. So anytime I have to do stuff like that, if I have questions or whatever, I'll be like, hey, what do you think about this? So we bounce ideas off of them, and then I'll come back with their ideas and try to plug in what I like and kind of design it up. It's this. I've done hand controls on I don't know how many different airframes now, but I usually do a similar functioning, but it's a different install in every airframe.
Could you just real quick run me through which hands are doing what? So is there a throttle mixture or is it?
There's no mixture on this aircraft. Yeah, it's because it's all fuel injected and it's all electronic injected and all that stuff. So yeah, it's got launch control and all kinds of stuff on it. Yeah, the left hand is forward and back is left and right rudder, and then it's got twist throttle like a motorcycle, and then on that stick I have my left handbrake. And in the center stick, I have right handbrake. And then something we just added recently on the left stick, there's a button on top of the stick, and I can push that button and turn it on, and that is a pneumatic flap deployment. And then I can push the button to turn the flaps off. I would like to say thanks to everybody that helps make this whole series happen, volunteers and owners of National STOL and all that kind of stuff. It's such a fun thing that we get to do, and they make it happen for us. So I'd like to say thanks for that for sure.